In 1931, the Hollywood studio system was entering its golden age, and director Todd Browning was at the peak of his influence. He had just delivered Dracula to Universal Pictures. The film was an immediate success, making Bela Lugosi a silver screen icon and establishing Browning as a filmmaker who understood the dark, subconscious desires of the public. Sensing a massive financial opportunity, Irving Thalberg and Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer lured Browning away with a specific directive. He was to create a picture that would out-horror Dracula. By commissioning a film that would exceed the shocks of the year's biggest horror hit, Thalberg was asking Browning to venture into a territory of extremity that the industry had never actually tested. To meet that demand, Browning moved away from standard Hollywood artifice. He bypassed the traditional heavy makeup and prosthetic tricks used by other studios in favor of something he considered more visceral. Drawing from his own youth as a circus runaway, Browning adapted Todd Robbins' short story, Spurs. He filled the cast not with actors in costumes, but with a genuine, real-world sideshow troupe recruited from across the country. Browning was documenting a community he knew and respected. The studio hierarchy, meanwhile, was expecting a gallery of monsters. Production for the film, titled Freaks, began on the MGM backlot under a cloud of anxiety. The cast featured major vaudeville stars, including conjoined twins Daisy and Violet Hilton, Prince Randian, the living torso, and Johnny Eck, the half-boy. Browning treated the performers as colleagues and friends, viewing them as a community he had once belonged to. MGM executives did not share his comfort. Concerned that the performers would disturb the studio's contract stars in the commissary, management ordered the cast to eat their meals in a separate outdoor tent. While Browning spent his days filming a story about the common humanity of his cast, the studio administration spent their days ensuring those same people remained hidden behind canvas flaps when the camera stopped rolling. When Freaks premiered in early 1932, it was a shock. The 90-minute psychological thriller Browning delivered was unlike anything the public had encountered. During test screenings, patrons reportedly fled the theater in distress. One woman even threatened legal action against the studio, claiming the experience of the film was so physically jarring it had caused her to suffer a miscarriage. Critics were equally repulsed. The trade papers called the film an insult to human decency, questioning how a major studio could authorize such a production. Panicked by the backlash, MGM head Louis B. Mayer ordered the film edited down immediately to satisfy the demands of moral watchdogs and the public. Nearly 30 minutes of footage, including a longer, more intense rainstorm sequence, were cut and permanently destroyed. A brief, softer ending was added to bring the runtime down to just over an hour. This response didn't just shorten the movie, it physically erased a third of Browning's original vision, ensuring those sequences would never be seen again. The intervention failed to save the film. Freaks became a significant financial loss for the studio and was quickly pulled from theaters. It was banned in cities across the world. In the United Kingdom, the British Board of Film Censors prohibited the film for 30 years, one of the longest bans in the country's cinematic history. Browning's name became inextricably linked with the grotesque. The industry he had helped build began to close its doors to him. He would direct only a few minor pictures before entering a forced permanent retirement. Browning was essentially exiled for delivering the exact level of horror the studio had originally requested. Decades later, the film was rediscovered. In the 1960s, the counterculture movement found a new resonance in Browning's work. A new generation of viewers saw the film as a compassionate, forward-thinking exploration of what it means to be an outsider. While the film was eventually hailed as a masterpiece, the acclaim arrived decades after Browning had been cast out of the industry. This was brought to you by Stalzer Circle. Thank you for listening.